Almost dead to very much alive. Oh, and now it's raining down. They're looking to hunker down behind the shields. Butter my bread with a huge one making a... Able to pop the purple shield as Knight. Now the pressure comes. They look for the push. And as safety, but able to block it with a nade there.
SharePlay.
Nice little change to go ahead and just pick them up, route them on the side, and get ready for the next fight. Get a shotgun out. 1, 2, 3. No, you lose your life. And unfortunately, you weren't able to pick up your buddy, so that'll be Ascendant Spire taken out.
Max Strafe, I mean, we've seen the name in the kill feed quite a bit. We see their partner has 1 kill and 3 assists already here as well, XDD. And so with that, some early success again. Max Strafe on that Pathfinder, and as a former Pathfinder mate, I got to say I'm a little giddy seeing Max Strafe pop off here on that Pathfinder. I don't know if I've asked you before, and I probably have, Orbital, but I've got an old bad memory here. Maybe you can remind me, who are your favorite legends in Apex?
Oh no, you don't want to ask me that. You don't want to ask me that at all. But I will. I don't know. I have a lot of favorites, I should say, because there are some that have worked for me and some that have not. I did play Pathfinder for a little bit, but I was terrible with them. I will say I think my favorites have changed over time. I do like Bloodhound a little bit, getting that info, getting that intel, but at the end of the day, I think I always got to go with the sniper themselves, with the massive close to the body as best you can. So you know, running up a little bit inside of that value. So I like to play with the snipers. I like to play with a little bit of the scopes in my life as we're getting down and into this whole firefight here. Oh boy.
Woodland Chunk gotta find the first one with the massive. That's XD&D and crew. Max Strafe, they were doing well. They're gonna get caught on that rotation in as Panic, Apex, and Woodland and Chunk continue to find kills, and there's at least 2 for Woodland, 2 assists on the board as well, and a little bit of damage. We take a look and we see Panic already working or already has that red shield. Woodland Chunk not far behind as well. And so that's one of the nice things about some of those early engagements. You don't necessarily have to find kills. As you mentioned, the snipers can be great for this as well, but just finding that early damage and working toward growing that shield before you get to this final circle, where a lot of times we've seen teams with just those blue shields or things like that. So it can make that battle a little bit more difficult if you're not able to at least find a little action before that final hill.
Oh, 100%. And honestly, I wouldn't find it if I were playing Vantage or anything like that. It's just a problem to be had, honestly. So I do agree. You have to bring those fights in. And it looks like Frosthaven had done so. I love what they currently got set up. Panic Apex, like you said, Pathfinder is really enjoying themselves. With the current standing, you have that red shield. It looks great. And now you're going to use that zip line to go ahead and get to the upper ropes, which will be somewhat spotted out. But in duos, again, you have this function where, again, if you get a good spot, you can hunker down for a while inside of the zone. And of course, with this round 3 now closing, you're gonna start closing. You should be in a fairly okay position for the upcoming fights.
And we can see Hosivian and Peachy back there taking a ride up top and maybe looking to get a little intel of their own. Positive RP and Doll Gaming are tucked inside here as well, still inside the hill for the time being. You take a look at the mini map though, and there has been some intel given. You can see that that next circle is a little bit of a distance here from Null and crew, so at some point they're going to have to pressure out of here. We saw Peachy in the background, Mike Dark waiting not too far away here as well, and unfortunately it looks like Slim Jim and crew getting caught out in the open. Slim Jim dangerously low, but will be able to get the battery off in time and get themselves back in the fight. Peppering in some shots as the bullets are being fired in both directions. Slim Jim has to back off again to a safer location, has 4 batteries on deck and ready to flex. So with those tall boys, we'll be popped back up. Detective Angel, Slim Jim in a bit of a tough position, but now potentially looking to rotate away on this zip line here as well, and it does look like they are going to be able to make it out.
I think they've done quite well. Honestly, Slim Jim might be taken down here and will, and that's going to be the free fire. Really nice shots out of Honditas, taking out Cloud Break now. So very, very clean job. But huge point about that, you were able to stay alive ahead of 2 other teams. So instead of falling at about 10th, you fell at about 8th. Not a bad placement considering the position you were put in. Now take a look at Duskridge, Mike Dark, and Honditas. This is another crew. I think we've seen Mike Dark before play things out. So seeing a little bit of a difference, and again, that Pathfinder being utilized to perfection. But of course, you put yourself into a really dangerous spot here as Harbor Mist is going to fall. Panic Apex getting some nice kills, 6 total for themselves as well.
6 total. Panic and them have been having a field day out here as we take a look at Mike Dark and Honditas for a moment there. But now a nice little overview from our observers here. We see Mitch and Nick pushing in toward Mike Dark there as well. Panic and Woodland Chunk in the background have had a lot of success, but Holy Butter, Burpee Slurpee, who we saw earlier, are in a good high position here. Another team lurking about as Mitch and Nick will continue to pepper in some shots of their own, and some decent damage being done for the time being. Round 4 will begin to close. Things will shrink, and hopefully none of these players have claustrophobia because the action is about to go down. And with that, we see Mike Dark finding Mitch. Snuck. Nick will go down here as well. With that, the team will be eliminated in this top 6 positions, though, so certainly finding a decent amount of points here in game number 1.
Yep, this is doing quite well. And honestly, I am very, very impressed. Liquid Aim set themselves up for a nice inside the cabin run, but I don't know if that's really going to work. Panic Apex getting some pure shots running through. No chance for Darkspire to run, but the fight's not over yet as Mike Dark is getting chased in. This is a great way to third party. Go ahead, collapse in and get some damage down, but are any of the nades going to work? No, shield goes up. You're going to kind of hunker down on the top side, but now you chase on this shield. Jump behind, great shotgun shots. Lands 1, 2, is able to knock 1. Looking for a second. Woodland Chuck, unfortunately, not enjoying this piece. Are they going to find it? They're still hunkering around. One more shotty. Should be able to do it, but Chase is a little bit rough here.
Yeah, I mean, Panic breaking ankles out there. He's got the moves like Jagger, and now looking to finalize it here. The crew continues to be on the hunt. Honditas is going to eventually fall to Holy Butter here, who maybe potentially gave up that high ground. Mike Dark will dip off and have to find an escape route here. With that, the Phoenix kit will come out, so Mike will be back up top, and unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to recover that banner, nor would they be able to potentially bring him back. Oh, there's a respawn not too far away, but again, I think Holy Butter, Burpee, just going to kind of hang out around these boxes here as well, make sure that that revival can't come in, and they have spotted the competition as well. Only 2 other enemy squads here remaining, and 3 in total.
I mean, that's just the easy part about this. You're gonna go ahead and chase because you know you only got 1 left, but this is a danger. You're taking it 2-on-2. They're lower on the shield, so this could be huge for Mike Dark specifically. Mike Dark might be able to get away with this, and it looks like they might, as the fight breaks out here, shots on top, as that's gonna be a huge fight. Holy Butter and Steve doing their best to chase it. That's the shotty to work. Obsidian is out. 2 squads remaining, but it's not a 2-on-1. It's a 2v2.
Yeah, Mike Dark gonna get that respawn coming in here, so Honditas will be back onto the battlefield here. And with that, though, the crew has an opportunity to pressure in. They're gonna have the advantage slightly here as Honditas makes their way back. The shots ring out, but it's Burpee in a bit of trouble here. Dancing around the pillar, flying in. Mike Dark with a mastiff, putting in work. The 12 gauge to the rib cage, and Dusk Ridge will be your champion of game number 1 with 7 kills on top.
Oh man, what a wild ride there. You gotta love it. You gotta love watching some of those fights break out. And again, that revive doing so much work at the end. It was very, very key. And again, with that push, that's why I was mentioning it was a gamble. At the end of the day, you pointing out the respawn as well being a huge piece of the puzzle, so it made it a lot closer than we expected. Overall, though, great battle at the end of the day, and it did move fairly quick. I was expecting things to maybe take a little bit longer, but all the teams are very bloodthirsty, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah, you know, and I think I feel like we get that a lot of times in our first game as well. We see these players being a little bit more hungry for those kills than they might normally be. And then usually it slows down a little bit, but who knows? I mean, maybe that confidence is exuberating here today on the battlefield, and they're going to kind of continue to be that aggressive play style. And I got to say, I'm not sad about it. It was a lot of fun watching them kind of go head to head and clash early on here as well. But again, I think going forward, some of these matches are going to slow down a lot more than what we've seen in that first one, Orbital.
Of course, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. Honestly, we're gonna sit here and just go, we'll see what happens, really. But I do hope to see them uh, continue at this pace, mainly because you are just trying to rack up as many points as you can. You got 6 rounds per or 6 matches per round. You need to get as many as you can, so just hard rush it. This is not the finals, and I understand that. This is not that top 30 team where you do have to play very carefully. And granted, we've seen teams even in the finals just be like, "Yeah, we don't care. We're gonna play hard rush. We're gonna rush you every single time. And if we lose, we lose, and we win, we win." It's a great way to play. So the idea that they're gonna play a lot slower, I'm not sure if they will. But this first opening salvo did give us a good insight into third party, into how some of these teams are going to play. The Rats are pretty much seeking out early. So I think we are going to see a little bit of that faster paced action until we reach about midway through.
Yeah, I mean, get out there and go, 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 I guess. But at a minimum, you still want to make sure that you are in that top 30 because,
Yeah.
if you're not able to make it into that top 30, unfortunately, you won't have a chance at that $10,000 tomorrow. And as Orbital had mentioned earlier, the top 10 teams are going to be in the money tomorrow as well. So there's really an opportunity for a lot of people to take at least something home on top of those bragging rights. But you got to get through today here as well. And, at the risk of sounding like a broken record over and over, consistency is going to be most likely the word of the day.
Of course. And to me, it's going to be tough. There are a lot of great teams joining us here today. We saw a lot of high action firefighters pretty much out there. I think a lot of the Spire squads were up there that I watched really show off their skill. A lot of them were, getting heavy hitting moments. They were able to guard the outer side of the rings, and that's what we were really watching for. And it just came down to the fact that, these individual firefights didn't really pan out the way they wanted. They would get third party, they get shut down trying to move into the next ring. So, here and there were some small issues, but overall, it was a great fight. I think I am gonna sit here and watch and wait and say, okay, so how are you gonna play it differently? Number one is, are you gonna hot drop again? So we didn't see that much hot dropping. I think we saw action between two, but not 3 or 4 groups. So I'm still waiting for that 4 groups dropping one and everyone gets annihilated.
Well, why we have a moment here, we'd like to welcome everybody in chat as well. And if you're new to SharePlay, we'd like to welcome you to a platform that's built for gamers, creators, and streamers alike. So it doesn't matter whether you're here to compete, stream, just hang out, watch. The cool thing about SharePlay is it offers a dynamic space to kind of discover great content, showcase your skills, connect with other creators and viewers alike. And it's got incentives and chats as well, including exclusive events. So we hope that you'll try it out, and we'd love to see you here amongst the SharePlay community as well. Be sure to join the Discord, and we're always looking for new testers. But we appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with us here today.
Oh yeah, we are very, very happy, and hopefully to see more as well. There's always a love for Apex. I think as it's going to be a good time. Now we're taking a look. We are getting this kind of slow roll moment in as we're looking at Obsidian again. Obsidian, I think, dropped out a little bit more halfway. I think they were sitting at about 10th or 11th, if I remember correctly. If not, then they're going to try their best. But we are going to get a match ended. I believe a couple teams weren't able to make it in. So we're I think gonna go ahead and get that mixed back in and hopefully get the teams back into the lobby.
Well, we all love that love-hate with technology, as we all are aware. Sometimes these things do happen, but we've got a lot of wonderful people behind the scenes who often don't get enough credit. So huge shout out to everybody working behind the scenes and helping with today's event. But I'm sure they'll get that ironed out for us here in just a moment. But yeah, I'm excited for some more hot drops as well, Orbital. I'd like to see some, 4 to 6 teams just duking it out, basically like the Thunderdome. A bunch of teams enter, only one is going to leave. But that's kind of like that risk reward there. You don't really want to put yourself in a position where you are eliminated, immediately, and you don't have that option or ability to find a couple points through some kills, and certainly find a lot more points through placements as well. So a little bit of options, I guess, to weigh out on the scales of justice before you decide what to do here.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, and I think again, we need a lot more info. This is a grand total of 60 teams coming in here. We've only seen what 30, I think, in here, and of those 30, we maybe seen maybe 16 or 17 of them so far in the battle. So to really sit there and say we are going to put a number on who is going to come out on top, I think we're going to be proven wrong more times than not. I mean, you and I have literally come here and been like, oh, we see a team do really, really well in the opening rounds and then fall off towards the latter stages. It's always kind of that extra boost to the bucket. I think we're gonna. I think again we're gonna see some teams step up. I want to see Obsidian. I want to see what they can do. Hopefully, we get to see some extra action as well. So getting into it, we'll roll right in and hopefully have a good time.
Always a good time here at the PlayBowl. Of course, the 2024 championship here, again, powered by Akamai in collaboration with HLX. And these competitors are going to waste no time getting into the action. A couple shots will be peppered a bit back and forth as we take a nice little look at the Mirage ship over here. Some beautiful fireworks on display to kick off this PlayBowl 2024 championship action. And there's a Sivian, Peachy. Orbital had mentioned hoping to see some action from them, and this is exactly where they landed in map number 1 as well. So this seems to be maybe a little bit of a favorite spot of theirs.
Not just that, we're seeing a little bit of a rough time here on the airship. 2v2 right now, and it's a little bit of a ghost out. You can see Screw and Shark wondering exactly how they're going to play this one. Huge shots to be fired away at the start here, but Screw not enjoying the fact that all you're sitting is on an RE, and I mean, on the other side, you got a Spitfire and EVA, so, it's decent guns for one player, but you need a little bit more as you're trying to reload and do the best that you can. It's going to be a little bit of a dance with danger. You're working with low util. Fortunately, the hard sprays are not going to land in Shark's favor as the gravity is going to send you sky high. It looks like everyone is kind of left to their own. Shots more out as Amethyst looking to try and help their team hunt down the remaining T-Screw, but T-Screw goes on high again as this is now a dance outside as you try and run away, but you're getting shot out.
I felt like KC Shark and them had a little bit of an advantage, especially with that Spitfire, but the opposing team able to turn it on its head, and now it's up to T-Screw trying to dance, dodge, duck, and dive away, but they're going to dive straight into a 6 feet dirt nap as Jerome will find the kill here. And with that, they have that high ground. We can see Jerome Caboose up on top. There are a couple teams, one in between them here, as Max Strafe and XDD had a lot of early success in game number 1, but did eventually get eliminated on their way into round 3, I believe, as that zone was closing in. But they are going to hunt down that team below here. Amphius and I think Ghost are the ones that go down there. So Max Strafe able to put 2 more kills on the board, but they have to be careful. A team lingering not far. That's Jerome and Crew who run into Yankee. Yankee finding the pick onto Jerome. You better believe they're going to hop down and look to ape it. Caboose tucked into the corner, though, and with that, Max Strafe firing from a distance will force Caboose down into the opposing team. Caboose somehow still alive, dancing around, using the shield. Caboose, Jerome will go down, but a lot of crazy action. We wanted it here, and now we're getting it Orbital.
Oh, I love this. What do we talk about? The ability to scramble and the ability to get right positioning. I love where they're currently sat. Honditas, remember this squad from before. Really nice name, and this time they came in as, what, the 5th party here. Dusk Ridge setting themselves up on this scaffolding and said, hey, we know about 4 teams are going to come through here. All 4 of them are going to try their best. We get free fire. We get an extra 2 kills. And we move our placements with that 9 teams eliminated, at least 4 here in this little crevice. Dangers are abound, but huge benefit coming out for Dusk Ridge.
The action in the crevasse as Mike Dark and Honditas will be the 2 standing tall for the time being, and already at some blue shields. We've seen the Mastiff really work its way back into the meta here as well. I know the last time we had casted Orbital, it was a lot of those Akimbo Mozambiques, but it's nice to see the meta kind of consistently changing a little bit and kind of keeping the players on their toes, as Mike Dark and Honditas have a ton of loot to choose from, but it looks like they are all squared away and ready to roll on in here. 2:23 left as round one continues to close.
Right now, we're also seeing Holy Butter and Burpee. These two have done some work before as well, but Lies on Night Plays, realizing they're not in a good spot. You're up against one of the top-ranking teams, or at least one of the teams that did very well in match number one. I don't know if you're really going to enjoy that one. Of course, Holy Butter stepping up a little bit closer to this battle. If you can lay out these two, it'd be a pretty nice one. Night Plays trying to bat up, but I don't know how much bat they're going to get.
And in the kill feed, Murda finding a Civian. We saw Peachy go down just before, so Civian and their crew will be eliminated early. Shots ringing out from the Spitfire. Case, excuse me, does a ton of damage, but is also dangerously low. Lies just a skosh of health. Still has the shields to rock with. A couple of the syringes will come out, looking to kind of tip back up. And on the right side, it's Nick yet again. Holy Butter with a Mastiff finding the 2K. And with that, they'll bleed out. Night Blaze was eliminated amongst the mix as well. 18 squads remaining, and already a bunch of kills going up on the board.
Very, very clean work here. Again, Arc Strike being one of the teams that we watched before, and again, showing up here. I believe they're also, top 3 in previous lobbies, so really, really well done. And the flank option we were mentioning, the squad has a very uncanny sense of understanding the map terrain and understanding when they need to back off, and this time around they're able to collapse in at the right time. But this is going to be a shot out, and as we see, Bubble getting shot out, but it's only by a straggler. I'm not sure if Berserk or Storm really want this one. You don't really have good shielding.
Yeah, if I see purple shields and I only have the grays, I am out of there, bro. Dipping on out. Unfortunately, they're not able to make it, and it's going to be Berserk who is the first to fall. Bubble backing up a little bit, does find the pick. I believe having that EVA 8 there as well. And we can see him trying to dance away with the last little bit of life they have. Now coming in from the left side, though, Baby Taff and Swezos maybe looking to third party a little bit of their own. Kess, Bubble, about half shields for them. And it does look like they're going to be able to back off to a safer position here due to the ult coming in. And so they should be able to heal back up and look to re-engage or disengage if they choose to do so.
Oh, but look at Frostfire on the far side, being able to get a team fight win. 3 assists for Epic Cow, I believe. 3 kills for RZ Kill, as the name implies, and that's a pretty good piece. We're looking at 16 squads right now, so not terrible, but still, in this first round, it feels okay. You know, you're looking at this zone 2, and you're saying, okay, how is this going to play out? We're already close. And inside of the Spire side, it's like you're not too far off. You're loaded up. You got purple and blue shielding, so weaponry as well. You got the Hemlock, as you mentioned, the Mastiff coming in to play for a lot of these players. So a good setup for Frostfire to try and get in the upper 10 teams remaining.
Upper 10 teams, that's the minimum goal there. But who else? Woodland Chunk. Again, finding a pick. The teammate there, Null Gaming, found onto Panic Apex as well. So a little bit of a trade going out. And now we take a look at Epic Count, RZ Kill. And RZ already has 3 kills here as well. Epic with the 3 assists. So able to put a little bit of points on the board in decent positioning and almost to that top 10 squads left there as well. That magic number that we look to see as far as getting a little bit of extra points on the board. And you take a look at the kill feed, we see some other kills coming in there. Acoustic, another name that we're a little bit familiar with. Dayfly as well. So seeing a little more familiar names pop up in the kill feed. And again, it's great to see the action. I saw Murder up there earlier as well. See Washed and Dangerous finding its Mickey in the kill feed here. And so now things getting a little bit closer. That second hill about to start, second ring rather, about to start closing in, but still 13 squads up and standing here, Orbital.
Yep, you got to go ahead and just play it smart. Again, with 13 closing in and the Holy Butter, of course, trying to fire away, you got to find your right spots, loot up what you can, maybe get a few more util pieces. I mean, the nades are, of course, going to be really, really important, but you can see here, Fort, Kess, and Bubble, they're going ahead, taking the low ground here, just trying to play around the inside bridge and see if they can catch anyone a little bit unawares. For Hairblade, I mean, they're sitting with only 2 kills to their name. They really are playing on placement as much as possible. You know, these high killing squads are going to be running over you pretty dang quickly. As you can even see, Panic Apex taking out Everflame, and Bubble and Catch just going, okay, let's go ahead, close all the doors. Let's try and keep ourselves safe. So let's see where everyone else decides to go, and let's get all of our heals prepped and ready to go for what could be a pretty hefty firefight.
Got to get the ducks in a row and ready to roll here. R301 Mastiff in the hands of Kess, and a combo that I personally like as well. I mean, I feel like the 301 has always been a staple of Apex, and certainly a very good gun to use. On the other side of things, we can see Honditas, Mike Dark, not too far away. Honditas already able to get the red shield up and flowing. Some more shots will be peppered in as Bubble has been spotted here as well. We'll look to pop a quick sell and get back up. Honditas on the spot here will find someone as well and continues to pepper in shots. And gotta shout out the Observer here today as well. Always doing a great job of bringing all the angles and views to us here watching at home.
Oh yeah, we got to get all the fantastic views like this little flank option. Duskridge again throwing down with some great damage and forcing everyone to stay inside. So Mike Dark and Hondita is just going, yeah, we got this. We're not really worried. Dark Spire eliminated on the back end as Liquid Game is taken down, but look at those shots. I love it. The Nemesis doing some work to force opponents into those corners. Now Duskridge are like, yo, we can now chase this. Look at that beeline. Perfect angle. Panic Apex, though, taking ones out on the other side. So Woodland Chuck and Panic. There we go. We take a look. They're actually hunkered down a little bit lower, which is surprising. They're on the low ground, but that's because they're getting a little bit of help on the other side. A third-party team has forced their opponents off the high ground, and they're not going to take that chance to zipline up.
Yeah, you know, Panic and Woodland are almost always fearless. They continue to pressure. It doesn't matter if they're on the low ground or the high ground. If they smell blood, they are like sharks in the water. And right now, Baby Tap and crew looking to stay afloat, but Woodland Chunk comes in to chunk them on down. Baby Tap will find Panic, but it's not enough. The revive will come in. And just again, another phenomenal showing here from Woodland Chunk and Panic. They continue to put kills on the board. We see 3 there for Panic, along with a 5 assist over toward Woodland, who is your kill leader with 5 on the board, and now just 9 squads remaining.
Really, really nice job. Huge fights on the outer ring, and now you get to push your way in, and you're going to meet up with Arcstrike and Duskridge a little bit later on if you get into the mix in these buildings, and that's why we're taking a look. Take a look at this mix-up. You can see Burpee, Slippery, and Holy Butter, these two stuck in one of the houses, but a really nice position. But on the upper side, Panic Apex getting shot at by Max Strafe. XCD trailing a little bit further behind, so these damage numbers will be very, very interesting, as that's a shot ringing out. Panic Apex having to bat up again. Woodland Chuck on the high ground, throwing out the shield, just trying to walk their way across this bridge possibility.
To make their way across on the zip line, dangerously low. We see the shield is broken and the flesh call out comes in. Panic Apex, Woodland Chunk looking to continue that pressure here yet again as round 3 is closing. They spotted one, they fire a shot, not able to connect, still looking below where that other enemy they saw drop down, but looks like maybe we're able to dip off onto safety. And now Panic and crew are looking to rotate back to that safer position that they had. Panic will be chunked down here as well, but has 7 tall boys in the pocket, so able to get the shields back on deck here. Holy Butter, Slurpee on the other side, chasing after Berserk. You're going to see Burpee, Slurpee at the top left of your screen, taking out Berserk. Will find the knock and the kill. Woodland Chunk gets one in the mix as well, and everybody finding a little piece of the action.
Very, very nicely done. These stragglers are going to earn you points. And remember, for Woodland Chuck in the squad, they're already sitting with about 8 to their name. This is a great position to be in. Now you get to look for a little bit more. You're free firing into the building. You get some extra damage. Remember, this building corridor, I believe, was held on by Duskridge and a few other people. So now, yeah, Panic Apex setting in. Frosthaven is actually the one that we're watching. They're also going to try and break in. So they're trying to eliminate this inside building squad by battering down the doors and just saying, yeah, that's free for us. Doorway shot down, 65 and then some. Great damage, forcing them to the upper level.
Man, Panic is absolutely hitting these shots. He's going to find 2 more that connect, and now Gibraltar is dangerously low. Gibby looking to beat the feed. He says, I'm just going to leg it. Tries to pop up into the doorway. The shield is there. Shots ring out yet again in the distance. From behind, Panic Apex finding the knock and the kill with the grenade here as well, as that was Holy Butter from a different squad there. And with that, they find the knock. Panic up top. Now over to Woodland Chunk, rotating around as they look to potentially find a pincer play here or that opponent that was on the escape. We see the pings on the map here as well. They continue to hunt for this lone member who has dipped off to safety. Now shots, and I got to say, Panic on this Nemesis has just been absolutely deadly. Just really laser beaming the competition.
And it works so well. You clear out this backside building, and now you get full control of the Northwest. And yeah, take a look at where everyone else is. Everyone else is currently in a brawl inside of the pool, and that's the danger. So Panic, Apex, and Woodland Chunk get freebies to basically just push in as they wish, and because everyone else has to push into them anyway, they're going to get a lot of free kills here. Frosthaven are in a really good position to take over some of the upcoming fights. Not only are they going to pick up at least 2 or 3 more kills, I'm pretty sure they can run for first if they get the right third or fourth party.
And not only that, they already have, I think, about 10 kills between the two of them, so certainly putting up a ton of points. We're going to see that zip line, though, heading straight down to the action. The nade will come in. Mike Dark able to find one. Epic, RZ, both finding picks here as well, but here comes the third party. Woodland Chunk and Panic Apex. And well, if you see these two coming, that's one thing you might do is panic, because they are the juggernauts. They are the raid bosses of game number 2, and it's just them and one other squad left standing.
We mentioned how quickly a lot of these fights are going to end. We went from 7 squads to 2, and now it's a high ground for XTD and Max Strafe. These two have been playing a very calm game. I will say they were the ones that were, I believe, to the southwest earlier and actually rounded northwest into Panic, Apex, and Woodland Chuck. So I think actually for this position is actually going to be huge for them. Horizon Veil, yep. They only have about 5 to their names, so they're going to try their best. Panic Apex needs to bat up, needs to get back to full, and I mean, the position that they hold is perfect. The inside doorway, though, for Frosthaven is a really dangerous spot to be in because you have to walk through the door. I don't think you have that much cover to work with, so you can see they're going to have to make a run for it.
Yeah, and I believe there's a Kraber on the other side. Luckily, they have this shield to work with, right? So they can use the shield, look to pressure out. They decided that they want to ape on toward XDD. The nade comes in. Now up top from a distance, the Kobe. Will it rain down in time? It nearly hits him. Shots ring out from the Mastiff. One above. That's going to be Max Strafe stepping out from the shield, peppering in some good shots. Able to break the shield here as well. The grapple firing in, and he tries to just come on in, but it's Frosthaven. Woodland Chunk, Panic Apex with one heck of a game number 2.
Solid overall. There was nothing else to be said. I mean, this duo, we watched them pretty much round out and corral the entirety of the competition. You end with double-digit kills, you end with a first place, and that is a solid way to put yourselves in pretty much first place. Remember, they were one of the top 5 in the previous lobby as well. So I have to give them commendations. We saw Woodland Chuck back in some of the previous tournaments, and they have a great head on them. They know exactly where to move. They know how to move as well. And so the positioning from them was very crucial. Remember, one of the big things is they were able to collapse in on that 5-team brawl that was in that southeast region in the last round. But not only that, as soon as they got doubled up on by XDD and Squad and Strafe, they immediately said, okay, we don't have to fight both. We push one, take them out, and it's the duo heads-up communication to say, we don't have to worry about so much. The basic game plan, take out one opponent, we'll take out the other afterwards. Again, solid gameplay here for Apex Legends.
Yeah, a great team communication as well. I mean, we saw that last fight. They popped the shield at the doorway, took a peek at the doorway, made a quick assessment of the situation and said, left side, Ape XDD. They did that, and again, they just executed the plan flawlessly. So a great job by Frosthaven. As you mentioned, Woodland Chunk, Panic Apex certainly has been near the top here in these first 2 and maybe sitting at first place. Max Strafe, XDD, certainly doing very well. Burpee Slurpee, Holy Butter. So there are a few of these names starting to kind of come into play that we're seeing a little bit more than others. But we talked about it earlier. We've seen it in those previous tournaments in September and October to where, some of these teams did very good in those first couple matches, but then fell off. So that's where we talk about that consistency really being a key thing here in today's tournament.
I would say you need to place well in, I would say about 10 to 12. I know that's a lot, but you need to at least place pretty high in at least 12 of the matches, maybe top 10 in each lobby. But If you're able to get first or second with multiple kills, I would say you only need to do well in about 6 or 7 of them. And then you can kind of, taper off towards the end. But you can never be too sure. You never want to get down to, match 17 or 18 and be like, oh crap, I need like 7 points to go ahead and move on. You want to be comfortable moving into the final rounds. And I have no doubt that for Frosthaven, we're going to see that. Very, very controlled, very much in that right point. Duskridge is a team that I also expect to be in there at this rate. Duskridge did very well. Yes, they got collapsed on one of the buildings, but another squad that plays very hard, very fast, very loose. And then Arc Strike, Burpee, and Butter. These two have been pretty fun and entertaining to watch. I mean, they love to get into the mix as much as others, but it's like a gamble if they're going to do well or not. I feel like they hop in. They're just like, we'll do whatever we can. And if we get kills, we get kills.
Well, at a minimum, that's the key thing is just going out there and having some fun. But while we have a little time in between the matches here, let's talk about what makes today's tournament experience so special. It's all powered by Akamai. With Akamai's cutting-edge cloud technology, we're delivering lightning-fast, low-latency gameplay to ensure a seamless experience for all competitors and viewers. Akamai powers and protects life online, and today they're powering this incredible esports event. And of course, we got to give a huge shout out to HLX as well. They're managing today's tournament brackets and ensuring that every match runs as smoothly and competitively as possible. HLX is all about supporting talent. Doesn't matter if you're an athlete, a musician, a content creator, a gamer, maybe a caster like Orbital and I. They're just committed to giving you a platform to shine on.
Of course. I mean, all these players, I'm sure, are very, very grateful for that fact. I mean, you come in here and it's a very large tournament bracket. Anyone that's played in tournaments knows this is difficult. This is very, very difficult to get underway, and no one wants to have to run it all on their lonesome. So a huge shout out to HLX and again to Akumai. Huge props to once again putting on this show for us. And I'm sure there's more in the future. I mean, this is just the end of 2024. You got to be looking even further on. There's a reason why we say immortalize your legend. You're going to have more options. You get more chances to become a legend, and you get more chances to play maybe into 2025. So, if you're first timer here, as we mentioned, obviously this is the grand finals. Be on the lookout. PlayBowl, I'm sure, is going to have way more tournaments in the future, and you just got to keep watching how it plays out.
I mean, in the 3 or 4 months that we've been here at Orbital, it's just gotten bigger and better with each one that's going on. So we know that 2025 is going to be even bigger and better than here in 2024. So Orbital is absolutely right, guys. Make sure you're following the socials. You want to stay up to date with everything awesome that we've got going on over here, because we're only going to continue to grow together as a community. So we love seeing you guys in chat as well, hyping people up. If you got a favorite player or somebody you're rooting for, please type it in chat. Let them know. You get to earn XP points just by watching and interacting in the streams as well. And it kind of just makes that viewing experience a little bit more rewarding. So we certainly encourage the viewers to kind of get hype and get involved with us as well.
And not just that, if you're also a streamer and the like, there are some exciting times in the SharePlay community just as well. They're possibly going to be a partner program and a new co-streaming feature here on SharePlay. So make sure to keep eyes on that one, which will let the players team up with, of course, your own friends to create a much more dynamic content in a unique way like never before. So please go ahead and stay tuned to the more of the SharePlay community access and, see what they have to offer, which again, trying to build that community, trying to build that competitiveness here on the platform as well.
Yeah, and a great way to do that is to join the Discord, discord.gg/SharePlay. It's a great way to connect with other players and people of the community. Maybe you have some feedback, some criticism, whatever it might be. We certainly appreciate everybody kind of showing up and giving a little bit of input over there as well. And, another easy way is just to tweet it out. So hop on the Twitter and let everybody know you're here watching or competing today. Use things like hashtag PlayBowl. On X, sorry, on X, whatever. I'm old school, it's always going to be Twitter to me, but, just tweet out or X out that you're watching or competing. And don't forget to use hashtag PlayBowl or hashtag SharePlayConnect. Let's get that community buzzing and show your support for the players. Speaking of support, we're going to head into map number 3, or round number 3, if you will. We take another look over to Lumen Shape, some early drops to gather some weapons. I gotta say, the Scout's another weapon that I didn't use as much. When it first came out, I did. Kind of went to the wayside for me, but now it's a weapon that I'm enjoying a lot again.
Yeah, I mean, it's one that You either love or hate, I think, and it
Agreed.
really does come down to comfortability. At the end of the day, are you comfortable with the weapons? Are you okay with the weapons in hand? And sometimes you also just gotta run with what you got. I mean, with the scout, you got 133. It's more than enough. But you got the alternator in the back end. That's just like, maybe we can make it work. But with an EV8 only, you're gonna try and rush forward. So Ghost just hard rushing in. Lumen Shade, no fear whatsoever. Fortunately, I don't know if you like this one. You're up against XTD. Work at the top source before. So there it is. Nice finish. Lumen Shade, unfortunately, falling out very early on.
Yeah, it's tough to get eliminated early and then watch everybody else score all of these points. But we talk about the physicality of the game. We often touch base on the mental aspect as well. We talked about that dexterity earlier, and so these are important things that you have to learn to deal with, and you have to just be able to say, "Hey, GG's, go next." These are the mistakes that we made this time. Let's make sure we don't make those going forward. And so there's no losers when you're learning, right? We got winners and learners out there. So as long as you're learning something and progressing forward into that next round and trying to make the best of it, unfortunately, they're going to have to sit round number 3 out here as Max Strafe did in that backpack. Suezos, Baby Taff, we've seen them in those top 10 here in the last couple games as well. Slumbus, the lone member over here on Bright Spire. So maybe a disconnect happened early or maybe just playing alone, but nonetheless, out there going at it and having some fun.
I think that's the best part. Again, we've seen some rats do a lot of work before. So playing solo, not the worst part if you can get, a couple points. Remember, any point can count towards your total. There's 18 matches and you get what, maybe 5 or 6 per round. It's not the worst thing in the world, or per match, I should say. So do what you can, do as best as possible, and just kind of work your way in. So we'll see how this works. Kraken Fall, another squad. We've seen Shark and Screw have some, I would say, limited success. We've seen them multiple times get kind of caught out, but we have seen them take, I think, 2 or 3 kills total in some of those matches. So it's a possibility that they can do well, but they tend to play a lot slower than others. They like to take their time. They like to try and hold on, but unlike on this other side, on the west side of the quadrant, Nick throwing down with the best of them, gets a quick knock.
Yeah, able to find Reckless here as well. Mitch stepping up to help out a bit. They will spot him. Sprays come out in the 2v1. More success here for Nick and Mitch. They will put a couple kills and a couple points on the board. Still 23 squads left, 44 players out here on the battlefield. And just, we've seen Mitch and Nick really find early kills a lot here in these last few rounds. Haven't quite been able to make it into that top 5, but still consistently playing well. You take a look at the kill feed, though. Burpee, Slurpee finding a pick. Washington Dangerous. A couple names that we see continuously finding early kills here as well. Holy Butter, Burpee, Slurpee back and forth, finding a few more. As Harbor Mist and Dustbreaker both being eliminated. Bright Spire will follow up as well, and a lot of teams going down here.
11 eliminated very, very quickly, and that actually surprises me. Again, I expect about 5 or 6 now at the start in these lobbies. As we talked about, these are opening, just qualifying rounds, so you don't have to be as cautious. But to lose 11 is a little bit expensive, I would say. A lot of these teams are not going to enjoy the fact that they're giving over points to a lot of the teams that may or may not need it. Remember, 11 drops means that it's about 20 to 22 points that have been spread across some of the higher ranked players and maybe some teams that really do need it. So with that elimination, now a lot of loot is on the table as we're getting a little bit of a rush. Suezos, though, really not enjoying this position as you are locked down. Quick knock, getting an extra as well as the shield is broken, looking for a bit more damage. And that's Iron Soul to be eliminated. Dusk Ridge take their own.
And Mike Dark and Honditas are so good at aping on teams, but now they might have to deal with a little bit of that pressure from above as well. Nick and Mitch have heard the shots ring out. They've heard the action. They smell blood, and they are looking for the kills. But it does look like the crew able to dip inside here for the time being and get out of harm's way for at least a moment's notice. But Nick on the hunt yet again, peppering in some shots. Will only find a little bit of damage there as well, though. And Mitch still has the ult to work with as well, kind of deciding what they want to do, lingering around this right side, but doesn't look like the repeat is going to happen. Nick will go ahead and pop back off. They're going to go back off to the high ground here and maybe look to disengage for the time being.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough. You had the right position, but Inspire, I don't think, had the confidence nor the weaponry to really chase forward. You knew that Dusk Ridge are a very strong team and potently if you get turned on, you're in trouble. Again, communication is key. Are you going to turn properly? Are you going to turn in time? It looks like they're more just playing scavenger mode than anything else. So I appreciate that one. But Panic Apex already moving up to kill leader, I believe at 3, which is a nice push. Molten Flare not enjoying that fact, but you see Bubble, another squad, Harrowblade, who they've had moderate success here, placing in, I believe, the top 10, but you need kills this time. All you got is a good 217 damage on your name. You need to get some finishes here.
Need to find a couple extra points as you look to battle your way toward the top of that leaderboard. More importantly, you just got to get in the top 30, though. And so you just got to put your eye on the prize and just do it one game, one kill at a time. That's the best way to take it. We see Burpee Slurpee going down in the kill feed. Not something that we're used to this early as Woodland and Chunk finding an early pick as well onto Case. Seem kind of tucked in. Now here comes the hunt again. Bubblecast maybe heard you, Orbital. They are on the hunt for some kills of their own.
Yep, and I like the Slayer on the top rope to go ahead, throw down the shield, you bunker down and make sure that the opponent really doesn't have a choice but to wait. Look at the nades going out here. Really, really nice job with that call in the airstrike. Is it going to work though? Doors are open.
Doors are open. Bubble with a Mastiff looking to find one. Mitch and XDD in the kill feed, finding a couple more kills of their own, and now fighting here, just trying to find some success. Eventually, Kess will find it with the Akimbo Mozambiques, but dangerously low is Kess. They continue to dance around, but not for long, as they will be taken down by Null Gaming as well. And now it's all down to Bubble here. Looks like they might be able to get that revive, though, and they do. So Kess back on the feet, needing to pop a little bit of heals here if possible.
They're able to also take away Ember Lance. Really, really nicely done. Once you get the pickup, you heal up yourself. You allow your teammate to push. But now Panic Apex and Woodland Chuck, third party. Again, they are hunting for 2 extra pieces. They've done it yet again. And Woodland Chuck and Apex are just too dang good at cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly the team to look out for at the moment for me. We've seen it in those first 2 games, and after clinching the dub in the last one as well, they've got to begin to make their little stamp, their statement toward the other teams here in this tournament. Asivian in the kill feed. They had some good success in game round 1, not as much in round 2. So look at the battle back here in round 3 and almost into those top 10s here. We just need one more squad to be eliminated. And there it is, Onyx Fire going down. So with that, we are now into our top 10.
We are just watching these teams really duke it out here. Dark Spire, with Aim and Miki have had some success reaching into the top 10. But remember, main points are if you get those kills, plus top 5 or 6 is where that point breakdown occurs. It looks like they're just trying to loot up inside, just go ahead and put themselves in a nice spot. But they also hear some free fire on the other side, so maybe they try and double up. Maybe go for that third party as you go ahead and get a good scan down. They're gonna go ahead and also take a look at a huge care package coming in, which is a Kraber, which is nasty if you want to play this wide open space.
I am a lover of the Kraber. I know there's been some changes over time, but still probably my favorite weapon. And it's just something rewarding about hitting those Kraber shots. It just feels good, you know? And so we might see them kind of head that way. Obviously, when the hill gets a little bit smaller, maybe team's not as comfortable with it. But I mean, the no-scope, the hip-fire potential, ability of the Kraber is equally as dangerous.
Oh, 100%, but here's the problem. It needs to come down first before we talk about more. It has to land before you can use it, and that's the dangerous
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
I know. I am too. 100% in agreement. If it comes out, it's a nasty weapon if you can grab it quickly. That's the other part about it. But as soon as you're in position, it is a godsend, just like this laser beam, as you would aim, trying to gather some more damage off the tether.
Yeah, great job leading him. Crosshair placement, everything coming into play. And now with that, the pressure most likely will come in here as well. Looking to drop the smoke and maybe potentially pressure in, raining down a hailstorm of grenades as well. But will be peppered. Liquid Aim having to back off just a little bit as Darkspire has the high ground. They are in the better positioning, and the teammate now peppering in some shots here as well, just trying to force them out of this little cubby hole that they found themselves in. But now a potential third party from up top as well. They're gonna have to get down. Liquid Aim falls to the floor. Miki trying to get away. The grapple is there. Can they find the battery? dipping, ducking, dodging here as Mitch will find Woodland Chunk going down. So the Juggernauts at risk of being eliminated on the other side of things as well.
Oh boy, that kind of hurts. I'm sitting here going, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. See Darkspire, they're just like, dang, we could not get out of there fast enough. Miki is unfortunately going to lose their teammate Hoofit into center stage. You go ahead and try and get a little bit of help with that shielding, but now we're just getting a fight inside of one of those rovers once again. As Ro just walks on up and gets a red shield off of that. And for Frostfire, you're not in a good spot. You're not enjoying this battle, and they're just washed out.
Washed and dangerous. The name very, very suiting, I guess. Stepping on in and just a dominating performance inside the rover there to have a lot of success. You nailed it too. The red shield for Ascendant Spire, they're looking very, very strong. 2 red shields to work with, and only 5 other squads remaining. We take a look at the kill feed. Honditas, Mike Dark still finding those picks and eliminating another squad here as well. 5 kills, 4 assists for Inting on this Pathfinder. So a lot of kills coming out here for Ascendant Spire, and could be a very good round for them.
Yeah, this could be very, very big, and that's what we're watching for here. This split up is actually huge. Once again, Mike Dark and Honditas, though, they're like, do we want to chase? Do we want to get into the mix? I don't think they have to worry about too much else. So in the watching, it's just like, when is a good time to cross? When is a good time to kind of make our move towards center stage? And when do we want to really push into this mix? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Woodland Chuck, though, already chasing in as Ascendant Spire. Go ahead and gets washed out here. Really, really nicely done by Frosthaven. But now here comes the chase again. A little bit of a pick coming up, as this might be the chance. That's a huge pickup by Iron Spire, and they got the red shields. They're ready to go. Frosthaven eliminated at 5th.
Yeah, Woodland, Chunk, and Panic Apex finally going down. But again, they had a bunch of kills. They still made it into the top 5 as well. They got a dub in the previous round. So for me, they're still playing very, very well and doing very well as well. Putting up the points on the board. It looks like Mike Dark has found a way to get the Kraber in their hands as well. Finding the drop onto Daki there as well. So the down is upon them, but not able to quite find the elim just yet. Plenty of loot here for the rest of the crew. Honditas is going to find Peachy, who I know that you were looking forward to seeing how well them and Ascivian were going to do. But Ascivian in a very tough position here as Honditas will find the final pick. And now just 3 squads remaining.
Perfectly done, but you're getting sniped out again, the third parties, and Dusk Ridge knows all about the third parties. At this point, it is a decently spread out squad, and really depends on who gets pinched first. The eyes are about, though, as Honditas and Mike Dark go ahead and prep for an advantage. Go ahead back away, look for those high angles. Great shield breaking on the other side is Iron Spire.
Relocate there.
Squad that has so far reached top 5, top 7, I think, in multiple occasions now, kind of fighting for their life here. They're in open territory, but you see here Blaze and the rest of the squad just saying, yeah, we're going to try our best. This is 2 brand new teams in the top 3, at least if I remember. Yeah, Obsidian locked out in rounds 1 and 2 earlier on.
And locked out in the first couple rounds, but have made it here. As you mentioned, Nick and Mitch have had good success in the first couple rounds as well. But now your kill leader in Mitch with 6 on the board and assist there as well. So the teammate has to have at least 1 and in the top 3 as well. So doing a great job of padding up some points here in round number 3. But can they clutch it up? Can they close it out to be the Apex Legends of round number 3?
Is it going to be enough? And to give a little bit more insight, we are watching 2 squads play out, but this is Group C and D is what we're watching right now. This has been Group C and D, so we're still keeping eyes on Groups A and B for you. This is an amazing display here, though. A lot more open territory than I think you would like, so you're trying to move around to those buildings. Really nice shot, Mike Dark, laying down some damage, breaking that shielding and forcing another bat to be used here. Round 5 closing in, though, as things are going to get very, very messy.
Wow, we love that messy chaos here. Things are winding down the hill, getting much, much tinier. Take a look toward Mike Dark, and they have 3 kills on the board. Must have run out of rounds for the Kraber. No longer in the hands here. And rocking the Rampage. I know a lot of people tend to enjoy that weapon. It certainly not a favorite of mine, and maybe it doesn't like me equally as much. But a lot of these teams have slowed down the play here, and everybody just kind of being very patient and methodical at the moment.
Yeah, you don't want to make a mistake. At this point, everyone kind of knows if you're the first team to step out of line, you're dead. Like you are gone, and then the third party is going to come in. So really trying to understand and trying to lay some of these traps. I actually really like this. Take a look at this. Sliding around here. Mitch is just understanding that this is not a good space, or getting ready to kind of hone their skills in. They know one or two might be looking in on them, but see the bodies, right? You're saying hello. Yeah, you're dancing, you're just lapping your way. You're waiting for the final rings to close in to force everyone out of position. So you're more than willing to wait the last few seconds for the zone to close in.
Last few seconds before you make that transition. Mitch and Nick, though, could be in a dangerous one here as potentially could get pinched. The kid, though, dangerously low, going to need to find that shield. Duskridge holding a good positioning out and up top above the hill, peppering in some more shots. We'll find a little bit of damage toward that purple shield here as well. If you take a look at the ammo, though, 34 rounds in the mag, 52 on the reserve for this Rampage, so dangerously low on ammo here for Mike Dark as well. Has that shotty as a secondary weapon, which is good because the hill's getting a lot smaller, if you will. And now it looks like that third party about to happen here, Orbital.
Yeah, big fight. Obsidian is already down as that's a quick close. And that means that this is going to be dangerous. Duskridge know how to play this scramble game so well. And they're going to do it. Shoddy to 2. Gets into the blow. The smoke screen helping them out as Mike Dark sends one down, and it's Duskridge again to get another match win.
Yeah, huge round for them. Not only do they get the match win, but they were able to put quite a few kills up on the board as well. And so some more success for that squad as they continue to have a good day through the first 3 rounds here, but still 3 more to go for them. And we talked about it earlier. I'm going to talk about it again. Consistency. You're going to be tired of that word by the time I'm done today. But, it is key. We saw Woodland Junk doing very well, but eliminated a little bit earlier than we're used to seeing them. So for Nick and crew, it's an opportunity for them to maybe extend that lead a little bit. A lot of these teams, though, playing very well today.
Oh yeah, of course. And again, at this early start, this is going to be that chance, right? This is going to be that chance for some of the teams to really, again, kick back up, because as soon as we have that early start from Duskridge, we may or may not see them kind of slack off. Again, wait it out. You got other games to play later on in the day, so that's what I'm kind of watching for as well. So, how much time is really going to be given? How much time is really all these teams going to sit in there and try and play their hardest, or are they going to take a little bit of break? Once you secure a pretty nice job here in 3 of the matches, do you want to take a break? Do you want to conserve your energy for the other groups that might have higher tier opponents? That's another thought in there as well. Are you going to have to play harder against maybe group we're taking a look at group C and D. Are we going to have to watch as you expend a lot more energy for groups A or group B? So that's the thought kind of moving through there. I think Duskridge, that doesn't matter. They're going to say, hey, we're going to play as hard as we can. But I do wonder if that is going to be a minor thought in the back of their minds, just saying, hey, take it a little bit easy. Make sure not to get too winded here in the early placements. It's all about, as we said, consistency, but also moderation. Really play smart, really keep yourselves fresh for every match.
Well, and honestly, I feel like they can kind of play more of their comfortable play style now, because they won round 1. They did well in round 2. They won round 3. So they have a ton of points to work with. Now they don't have to do anything crazy. They just have to play smart. It seems like they came with a game plan here. They've been executing it nicely. They do a great job of finding third parties, but they don't really put themselves in awkward positions or seem to overextend. They're always kind of playing the terrain to their favor as well. So I really like the play style that we're seeing from Duskridge. Obviously, Ascendant Spire, Frosthaven, Darkspire, a lot of those we've seen play very well as well. But for me, Duskridge, they've already got not only a bunch of kills, but 2 first place finishes as well.
And that's going to secure it. I mean, pretty much in this one, Duskridge is already set. You're looking at the bottom about 4 or 5 that are only earning about 10 to maybe 11 points each, which I think has been rounded up. Because we have seen some shakeups. I think Harrowblade is one that really kind of surprised us towards the end of, I believe, match 2. They came out with some very surprising moments. It was very, very fun watching them kind of excite the second place moment. So, I mean, there are some names there that we are watching. So far, it has been Duskridge, but Arcstrike, Frosthaven, and Iron Spire. I think Iron Spire was another one that also surprised us, was able to come in as a third party and take over. So a lot of these teams are having a chance. So I am just I am just very, very, once again, I'm excited, right? We've already seen Duskridge take off. We want to see who else steps up behind it. So I'm just I'm hoping that these are going to be very, very strong matches overall.
Well, and you always say if they can do it, certainly we can do it. Yeah, there's been 3 matches done, but there's still 3 more to be played as well. And so I think, it starts with one round at a time. We've seen it before. We've seen teams do very, very well in the first half of the day, but then maybe not have that dexterity to continue that type of gameplay throughout the entirety of the day as well. So we do see some shifts in that leaderboard as time goes on. And of course, I look for some of these teams out there that are kind of aware of what's going on. Hey, we've seen that these are a couple of the powerhouse teams. They tend to land here almost every time. And so just kind of taking note of different things as the day goes on as well, and maybe making that run a little bit easier. Okay, we know they land over there, so let's land on the other side. Let's find some smaller teams. Let's get a couple early kills, get that loot, and then play to take them out after we're a little bit stronger. So I look for teams kind of making the